I'm Hannah, and I never expected to become a stranger in my own family over a number written on a check. But here we are. Hannah, Veronica, please sit down, my mother Patricia said, gesturing to the dining room chairs like we were clients at a business meeting. My father Richard stood behind her, arms crossed, expression blank. I sat. My sister Veronica was already scrolling her phone, diamond bracelet catching the light. She didn't look up. Your grandfather passed 3 months ago, Mom continued. We've settled the estate. The house sold for $8 million after taxes and fees. We've made our decision about distribution. Okay, I said slowly. What does that mean? Veronica will receive $7 million, Dad said. You'll receive $1. The room went silent, except for Veronica's nails tapping her screen. I'm sorry, what? I asked. You heard him, Mom said. Veronica gets $7 million. You get $1. We've already transferred the funds. You're joking. We're not joking, Hannah, Dad said. This was carefully considered. Veronica finally looked up. Can I go now? I have a spa appointment. Wait, I said, my voice rising. Someone explain this to me. $7 million versus $1? How does that make sense? Mom sighed like I was being difficult. Veronica has expenses. She has a lifestyle to maintain. Her condo, her car, her social obligations. You've always been more independent. Independent? I work 60 hours a week as a nurse. Veronica hasn't had a job in 4 years. She doesn't need to work, Dad said. She's focused on personal development. Personal development? I laughed, but it sounded harsh even to me. She posts Instagram photos at beach clubs. That's networking, Veronica said. You wouldn't understand. Girls, please, Mom said. Hannah, you have your career. You have your apartment. You're financially stable. Veronica needs more support right now. Right now? She's 32 years old. And she's going through a difficult time, Mom said. Her engagement ended. She's emotionally vulnerable. Her engagement ended because she cheated on him with his business partner, I said. That's not vulnerability. That's consequences. Hannah, that's enough, Dad said sharply. This decision is final. We're not here to debate it. You gave me $1, I said, my hands shaking. $1. From an $8 million estate. And you're acting like this is reasonable. It's symbolic, Mom said. It shows you were included. Symbolic of what? That you don't think I'm your daughter? Don't be dramatic, Veronica said, standing up. You're always playing the victim. Mom and Dad invested everything in me. My education, my training, my opportunities. They deserve to see that investment mature. Your education? You dropped out of 3 colleges. I was finding myself, Veronica said. Not everyone can be a boring nurse changing bedpans. At least I contribute to society, I said. Enough, Dad said. Hannah, you're upset. We understand. But you'll see this was the right choice. Veronica has potential. You're already settled. I'm settled because I worked for it. Every single thing I have, I earned. Exactly, Mom said. You're self-sufficient. You don't need help. And Veronica does? She's older than me. She needs guidance, Mom said. She needs resources. She needs family support. And I don't? Nobody answered. This isn't fair, I said quietly. Life isn't fair, sweetheart, Dad said. You'll understand when you're older. I'm 30 years old. Then act like it, Veronica said. Stop whining. Maybe if you'd made something of yourself like I did, they'd value you more. I looked at my parents. Neither corrected her. I'm leaving, I said, standing up. Hannah, wait, Mom said. There's one more thing. Your grandfather left a letter. His attorney wants to read it to the family next week. You should be there. Why would I come back here? Because it's your grandfather's final wishes, Dad said. Show some respect. I welcomed out. Behind me, I heard Veronica laugh and saying something about me being dramatic. I heard Mom agree. I sat in my car for 20 minutes before I could drive. The attorney's office was downtown, 20th floor, windows overlooking the city. I arrived exactly on time. My parents and Veronica were already there, sitting in leather chairs like they owned the place. Hannah, the attorney said, standing. I'm Robert Chen. Thank you for coming. Sure, I said, taking a seat far from my family. Let's begin, Robert said, opening a folder. Your grandfather left specific instructions. This letter is to be read aloud to the entire family, together, after the estate was distributed. He was very clear about the timing. Distributed? I asked. The estate already went to Mom and Dad. They subject it how they wanted. Actually, Robert said, your grandfather left everything to your parents jointly, with a request that they distribute it fairly among their children. He couldn't control their choices, but he wanted his perspective heard afterward. How convenient for them, I said. Let me read, Robert said. He pulled out a handwritten letter, my grandfather's messy script visible even from across the desk. To my family, Robert read. If you're hearing this, Patricia and Richard have already distributed my estate. I hope they chose wisely. But I've spent the last year of my life watching, listening, and investigating, and I need you all to know what I discovered. Veronica shifted in her seat. Mom's jaw tightened. Robert continued. Hannah, 15 years ago, when you were 15, your parents opened a credit card in your name. Then another. Then another. Over the years, they've opened 17 credit cards, 2 car loans, and a home equity line using your identity and social security number. They used this money to fund Veronica's lifestyle. The room tilted. That's ridiculous, Dad said. He was senile. Let him finish, Robert said coldly. They paid minimum payments to keep you from noticing when you eventually checked your credit. The total debt in your name is $460,000. Hannah, you've been funding your sister's life since you were a child. The condo she lives in? Your credit. The cars she's wrecked? Your credit. Her credit cards, her shopping sprees, her vacations? All tied back to accounts in your name. I couldn't breathe. The words kept echoing. $460,000. My name. Since I was 15. You're lying, Mom said. Dad was confused at the end. He didn't know what he was saying. He knew exactly what he was saying, Robert said. He hired a forensic accountant. I have copies of every fraudulent account opened in Hannah's name, with your signatures on the applications. Forged signatures, obviously, since Hannah was a minor for most of them. Show me, I whispered. Robert slid a thick folder across the desk. I opened it. Page after page of credit applications. My name. My social security number. My mother's handwriting on the signature lines. We were helping Veronica build a future, Dad said. Hannah didn't need it. You committed identity theft against your own daughter, Robert said, for 15 years. We had good reasons, Mom said. Veronica had opportunities. Hannah was always going to be fine on her own. You destroyed my credit, I said, my voice shaking. I was denied for apartments, for car loans. I thought I'd messed something up, that I'd missed payments I didn't remember. I spent hours on the phone with credit bureaus trying to understand. And it was you. The whole time, it was you. We made minimum payments, Dad said. It wasn't hurting you. $460,000 of debt isn't hurting me? You never even checked until recently, Mom said. See? You were fine. I checked, I said. 3 years ago, when I tried to buy a house, they rejected me. I couldn't understand why. I had a good job, savings, everything right. But my debt-to-income ratio was insane. I gave up. I thought I was the problem. You're being dramatic again, Veronica said. So what? They helped me. You're not homeless. You're not dying. Stop acting like this is the end of the world. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The designer bag, the fresh manicure, the casual cruelty. Did you know? I asked. Know what? That they were using my identity, that I was paying for your life. Veronica shrugged. I didn't ask questions. Mom and Dad said they'd handle things. I trusted them. You trusted them to commit felonies? Oh, please, Veronica said. Felonies. You sound ridiculous. It's a family matter. We keep things in the family. There's more, Robert said quietly. Hannah, your grandfather also documented every conversation he had with your parents about you over the last 5 years. He recorded them. With their knowledge, for his memoirs, he told them. They forgot the recordings existed. He pressed play on a small device. My mother's voice filled the room. Hannah's so boring. She thinks working hard makes her special. She doesn't understand real ambition. My father's voice. She's useful for her credit, though. We should open another card before she catches on. Veronica's laugh. Does she really not know? That's hilarious. She probably thinks she's just bad with money. I stood up. My legs felt weak. Hannah, sit down, Mom said. Let's talk about this rationally. Rationally? I asked. You stole my identity. You ruined my financial future. You mocked me for it. And you gave Veronica $7 million from Grandpa's estate while giving me $1. What part of this is rational? We're family, Dad said. Family works through things. No, I said. You're not my family anymore. Hannah, don't be childish, Mom said. We made mistakes, but we can fix this. We'll pay off the cards. We'll make it right. With what money? You already gave it all to Veronica. Silence. She'll share, Mom said, looking at Veronica. Won't you, honey? Veronica was staring at her phone. I'm not giving her my money. That's insane. Veronica, Dad said, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. Grandpa left that money to you. You gave it to me. It's mine. Hannah's problem isn't my problem. She's your sister, Mom said. So? She's always been jealous of me anyway. Now she's using this as an excuse to cause drama. I'm not rewarding that. I looked at Robert. What can I do? Legally? He asked. You can file a police report for identity theft. You can sue your parents for damages. You can dispute every fraudulent account. It'll take years, but you'll win. And my family? They'll likely face criminal charges. Your parents could go to prison. Your sister could be investigated as an accessory if she knowingly benefited from the fraud. Good, I said. Hannah, no, Mom said, standing. Think about what you're doing. You'll destroy this family. You destroyed it 15 years ago when you stole my identity. We're your parents, Dad said. You can't do this to us. Watch me. The police report took 4 hours. The detective, a woman named Sarah Martinez, sat across from me with the folder of evidence Robert had given me. This is extensive, Sarah said. 17 credit cards, 2 car loans, home equity line, all opened fraudulently. Total debt, $460,000. They didn't even try to hide it. They didn't think I'd find out, I said. They thought I'd just accept whatever they told me. The recordings help, Sarah said. Premeditation, ongoing conspiracy. This isn't a one-time mistake. This is systematic fraud over 15 years. What happens now? We arrest them. We build a case. The prosecutor will offer a plea deal probably. But with this evidence, they're looking at serious time. Federal identity theft, wire fraud, conspiracy. Your sister too, if we can prove she knew. She knew, I said. You heard the recording. We'll investigate, Sarah said. Hannah, I have to ask. Are you sure about this? Once we move forward, there's no going back. Your parents will go to prison. Your family relationships are over. They were over the moment they forged my signature when I was 15 years old. The arrest happened 2 days later. Mom called me 17 times. Dad sent texts threatening to disown me, like that meant anything anymore. Veronica posted on social media about betrayal and family loyalty, painting herself as the victim. The comments were interesting, though. People started asking questions. Why did Veronica need $7 million? What did Hannah do to deserve $1? Why were the parents arrested? Someone found the court records. Someone else found the police report. The whole story went public. Veronica's friends started distancing themselves. The ones who'd lived off her generosity suddenly realized where that money came from. My money. My stolen future. 3 weeks later, Veronica showed up at my apartment. I watched her through the peephole but didn't open the door. "Hannah, please," she said. "I didn't know it was this bad. I thought they were just helping me. I'll give you some of the money back. Please drop the charges." I stayed silent. "Hannah, Mom and Dad are going to prison. Real prison. They're talking about 8 to 12 years each. Please, they're our parents. They made mistakes, but they don't deserve this." I opened the door. "They stole nearly $500,000 from me. They ruined my credit. They mocked me for being too stupid to notice. They gave you $7 million and me $1. And you think they don't deserve consequences?" "They're old," Veronica said. "Prison will kill them." "They were 52 and 54 when they opened the first card in my name. They weren't old. They were criminals." "I'll pay you back everything," Veronica said. "The full $460,000. Just drop the charges." "It's not about the money anymore." "Then what is it about?" "Justice," I said. "Accountability. Making sure they understand that stealing from your children has consequences." "You're destroying our family." "They destroyed it. I'm just making sure everyone knows." Veronica's face hardened. "You're going to regret this. When they're gone and you're alone, you'll regret it." "Maybe," I said. "But I'll regret it with my integrity intact and my credit restored." She left. I never saw her again. The trial took 6 months. My parents pleaded guilty to avoid longer sentences, 8 years each. Veronica was charged as an accessory for the recording showing her knowledge of the fraud. She pleaded out for 3 years probation and restitution. The $7 million was seized to pay my debt and legal fees. Veronica ended up with about $2 million after everything was settled. I got my credit cleared, my debt erased, and $300,000 in restitution. I bought the house I couldn't afford 3 years ago. Small, quiet, just outside the city. I was unpacking boxes when my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "Hannah?" A woman's voice said. "This is Margaret Chen, Robert's wife. I'm also an attorney. I have 9 clients right now with similar situations. Parents stealing their identity, siblings benefiting, family gaslighting them into silence. They found your case online. They want to know if you'd be willing to talk to them, to tell them it's possible to fight back." I looked around my empty house, my clean slate, my expensive freedom. "Yes," I said. "I'll talk to them." I hung up and sat on the floor. No family, no parents, no sister. Just me, my house, and a stack of legal documents proving I'd won. I thought about Veronica's last words, about regret, about being alone. She was right about one thing. I was alone now. But I wasn't their victim anymore. I stood up, walked to the window, looked at my new neighborhood. Fresh start, clean credit, real future. Worth it? Here's what I want to know. If someone in your family had been stealing from you for 15 years, funding your sibling's luxury life while you struggled, and then gave that sibling millions while giving you nothing, could you actually put them in prison? Or would you convince yourself that family is supposed to forgive anything?